Uruguay shares a long history with Argentina. One cultural similarity they have is the enjoyment of tango. If you were to ask either a Uruguayan or an Argentine which nation fathered tango, they would both lay claim to it. Tango emerged in the slums on the outskirts of town as men known as gauchos were forced to move towards the cities in both Uruguay and Argentina during the late 1800s. Tango is derived from the cultural dances performed by these gauchos. Traditionally, only men performed the dance. Therefore, tango draws its roots from the gauchos and became the dance of poor neighborhoods and a mixture of Spanish and African elements. The end of the 19th century was when tango really began to take form through the inclusion of women. Unfortunately, though, these women were seen as immoral or as prostitutes. Immigration flow in the early 20th century allowed tango to really become a cultural event among neighborhoods, bars, nightclubs, and even popular theaters. This is where the dance began to incorporate more external influences. Even though tango was typically associated with the lower class, it permeated higher society as the youth became attracted to this form of dance. In addition, the popularity of tango in countries such as France and Germany helped to increase the social acceptance in Latin America. Tango continued to evolve up to the 1940s, which is known as the Golden Age of Tango. Eventually, tango fell out of style with the military overthrow of Juan Perón in the mid-1950s. It was not necessarily that the dictator outlawed this form of dance, but it was the strict curfews and minimal nightlife that slowed the pace surrounding the tango culture. Thankfully, the tradition was kept alive through small family parties and in neighborhood dances as well as radio broadcasts. Surprisingly, the revival of tango came from the European youth's adoration and attachment to the dance through tango shows broadcast in the 1980s. This instilled the Argentine and Uruguayan youth with a sense of pride and inspired the countries to revive the dance. Tango became an international sensation. Before 1995, only a few U.S. cities had tango. Afterwards, most cities were bustling with the complex footwork of tango and began to adapt it to their own culture, creating the distinct form of ballroom tango that we see today. One symbol that arose to represent tango was the bandoneon. It was invented in 1846 by Heinrich Band in Krefeld, Germany. The actual original purpose for the bandoneon was to play church music. The precise arrival of this complex instrument to South America is unknown, but it is believed to have come to Argentina in the 1870s along with the influx of immigrants. Eventually, the name of the bandoneon was altered in spelling with an I to an E in order to procure a more Latin ring to it. It became quickly an early symbol of tango. Another symbol or figure of tango is Carlos Gardel. He was a famous singer, songwriter, composer, and actor who dominated the tango scene of the early 1900s. There are several theories concerning Carlos Gardel's place of birth. One theory is that he was born in France in 1890. The other is that he was born in Uruguay in 1887. The story goes that he was born with an unknown father at a hospital in France. It is believed that this theory is a fabrication to conceal an illegitimate child born in Uruguay. At the age of 3, Gardel's mother moved the family to Argentina. Thus, Gardel grew up without a father figure and ran along the streets of the barrio. Gardel became a sensation with his baritone voice and lyrical tango pieces. He wrote several classical tangos with lyricist and longtime collaborator Alfredo Lepera. The tragic airplane crash that killed Gardel at the height of his career solidified him as an archetypal hero. Gardel was said to embody the soul of tango and is forever known as the King of Tango. Carlos Gardel and the bandoneon remain as iconic symbols of this passionate dance that is so intertwined in Argentine and Uruguayan culture and history.